example. And I realized that just like we have helped to change the face of entrepreneurship, we can now help change the face of investing. And that's what's really, really exciting to me about the next decade. So my goal here now is to help people generate money, build capital, so they can then do whatever the heck they want with it, and including, if you want to, investing in others. How does that sound? Does that sound fun? Yeah. And the really cool thing is that you don't have to be rich already. Like, you don't have to be rich and wait till you're rich in order to invest in people today. Does anybody know, have you heard of Reg CF, Regulation Crowd Fund, like a crowd equity fund? Raise, can I get a hand so I can just see a little bit of it? Okay, so there's something called, how many people think that you have to have like $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 to invest in a company? Yeah, a lot of people so in 2012, the Obama administration was part of the group that helped start the Jobs Act, which made it possible for us, for the general public, or the fabulous public, but they couldn't put that in the charter, to invest in private companies, just like you would like in the stock market almost. And it's been evolving over time. So in 2021, the $1 million or so limit that you could raise as an entrepreneur this way went up to $5 million. And the month that happened, March of 2021, my fund did a raise to raise capital, and we reached that limit. I was the first black person in America to reach that limit. And then the second black person in America to reach it was one of the companies we've invested in. Right? Curl Mix. And what that tells me is that there are we have 6,000 plus people who are part of that, and I hope some of them are in the room, but we had 6,000 plus. What that tells me is that there is hope, there is a new guard. I've been called a key maker, not a gatekeeper, and this is what that represents to me. So I want to tell you, first of all, if you're interested in working with me and you want to, jump on Zooms, and we have group calls, and I work with my venture partner, general partner, Brittany Davis, who lives in New York. She's a mother of 2. She is incredible. You can go to backstageinvest.com. backstageinvest.com. This week we launched a five-year in the making company, where a membership where you work with us on investments, because the huge banks, we have those as investors. Bank of America is known to be an investor of ours. Comcast is a major corporate. Amazon, Microsoft, they've all worked with us. But we see the most future, and we have the best time with people just like you. So you go to backstageinvest.com and you join that group, and then you, with the minimums of $100, $250, $1,000 that they have with Reg CF, the SEC has, you can be part of that, and we'll teach you how to do it. So anybody interested in that? Anybody part of that? Yeah, it's exciting, and that's the new wave. That's what's going to happen over the next decade. Another thing that's going to happen over the next decade is that I'm going to hopefully help, well, I'm not going to even say hopefully, I'm going to help 1,000 people make their first million or become millionaires. There are 2 different things, by the way. Making your first million and becoming a millionaire are 2 different things, but I talk about that and I teach that. So is anybody going to my event in April? Yes! Okay, April 9th through the 12th. Your First Million Live. It's in LA. You can go to yourfirstmillion.live to check it out. I won't spend too much time talking about it here, but Issa Rae will be there, y'all. And you know who else will be there? I'm about to, it doesn't matter who you are in this room, you're about to turn up, okay? It's okay to dance when I say this, okay? TLC will be closing out the event. Yeah. You know you want to do that. I can say it right there. She was like, let it all out. That's what this is for. How many people here do have a side hustle or are entrepreneurs in addition to being career professionals? Oh, great, that's awesome. And is that something, I don't know, because I'm not in the corporate world, I'm highly unemployable, but is that deeply unemployable, but is that something that you're your companies, like, they like it, they encourage it? Yeah? Whoa, okay. Go work wherever they're working. Yes. You wanna turn up like that on a Friday afternoon in San Diego. All you need is that lady and the DJ, and you got your whole weekend set. If you don't feel like that when I talk about your company, you're in the wrong place, y'all. Also, yeah, turn out. Also, if you are in a position right now where you feel like you are not being appreciated and you feel like you're not fulfilled, like we talked about in the last conversation, you don't feel like you're fulfilled, you're not happy, start working on your exit plan right now. You have my permission to do that. It's okay to do that. You could be sitting next to your boss right now, don't matter. Yeah, we got some plans being made already. Yes. But you know what? We need many of you inside those institutions and those buildings and those rooms. We need you in them, infiltrating, listening, calling people to account, rising in the ranks, showing up on boards. We need y'all. We need you to continue, because I can't do it. I can keep a job for about 3.5 days. That's my limit. 3.5 days until I cuss out the boss. I have measured it. Y'all know. You'll hear all about it in your first million when you're on the plane back home. There's a couple things as I wrap up, if you're thinking about how, because I do want y'all to make some money. So, I get asked all the time, how do I make $1 million? How do I make the first 10,000? How do I do it? Think about 3 things. Well, first of all, these other 3 things. I want you to invest in experiences for yourself. Being in the room, doing the thing that you know you want to do, but you're holding yourself back for some reason. You may have kids. F those kids. We love your kids. We love them, but F them. You gotta go. You gotta go do your thing. I love your kids. They're delightful. But you gotta get out the house. You know what I'm saying? Experiences. Or a good padlock, on the inside. Also works too, if you need to be around to be safe and all that, whatever. Invest in education for yourself. Now, I didn't go to college. I was accepted into some colleges, and I was a gifted student. But I know it's probably unbelievable, but I was a bit of a ruckus in class. I spent a lot of time in the principal's office telling them what I think their process could be better. It was a lot when I was younger, if you can imagine. But education, I mean, like, every single day I thirst to learn. That's what I call it, being money, right? When Beyonce says, come on, ladies, let's get information, she's also saying, let's get information. Okay? Yes. But we're gonna always upskill, and we're gonna do it on our own. We're gonna do it. The gig is gonna help us do it, because there's personal development. We're gonna take. Is anybody leaving any personal development money on the table at work? Don't do it. Every year, pick that up. Go do the thing. Go take the class. Go to the event. And then the third thing is self-care. And self-care can mean a lot of things. For me, it's okay. This is when I'm really gonna find out who my friends are. You ready? And whoever raises their hand, honestly, front of the line at the book signing. General Hospital, anyone? Hands in the air, I want to see you. General Hospital? General Hospital? Okay, I'm about a week behind, don't tell me nothing. Don't tell me nothing. Ooh, at first I didn't like Dex, thought he was a little runt, but he's growing on me. He's real cute. And he's real loyal to Joss and Sonny. Anywho, okay, so the third thing is self-care. And the last thing I'm gonna say, because I'm cutting into my own Q&A time right now, the last thing I'm gonna say is the way you think about making money today, you can think about this over the weekend if you wanna make an extra 10K, or anybody into that, like making extra money over the weekend? When you're on your flights home, driving home, going up the road to go home, you're going to think about three things. Is there something I can teach, show, or do? Teach. Online course, we know Amy Porterfield and Danielle Leslie, both friends of mine, amazing. If you don't know those names, get into it. Amy Porterfield, Danielle Leslie will teach you how to create a course using your expertise. You can create it once, put it out there into the world, keep your day job, and have it going in the background. That's teach something. The second one is show. So that's consulting, that is workshopping, that is showing someone how to do the thing you just taught, essentially. And you're going to put a price on that that's a little bit higher than the teach. And the third is do. So do it for you. Can you do something for someone? Can you design something for them? Can you do their copywriting? Can you go in and restructure the organization the way that you do at your own company but get paid 10 times as much to do it? You're going to teach, show, or do. If you think about those three things over the weekend, there's a good chance that you can create something sustainable that doesn't have to be a heavy lift, even if you do it once or twice a year, have a launch once or twice a year, and use that as something that you take with you no matter where you are in your career. And that's where I'll leave you, and we have a couple of questions, and I'll leave you there. So thank you very much.
I think I speak for everyone in just saying we're so glad you're back at Women's Week again this year.
I didn't know if you were going to be sent to, like, escort me out. Like, you did a great job. I need you to step over.
We want you to stay. We have a lot of questions for you, but we've narrowed it down to just a couple for time-wise. So I'm just going to jump into it. You say the first step on any journey to bettering oneself has to be radical self-belief. And you talk about the women in your life that have helped instill that sense of confidence in you. How do you suggest that someone start to cultivate that self-belief in themselves if it wasn't something that was instilled in them from childhood?
Yeah, so, well, I know there are probably some Republicans in the room, and that's okay. It's okay. I love y'all. But I'm going to talk about your boy for a second, okay? Donald Trump, again, you can escort me out. Just do it nicely. Donald Trump is someone that you might not imagine could be, should not be, President of the United States. And yet he was, and he will also have a chance to do it again. Again, I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm just saying, even if you like him, he's an unlikely guy to be the president. But he had the audacity to say, F it. I'm going to go ahead and just be the most me. I'm going to go ahead and be me. I was going to say me. And I'm going to be me, and I'm going to run for president, and I'm not going to care what anyone thinks about it. And he got there. I don't know if he should have, or we're not going to talk about that, if he should have or not. Vote for not Trump later in the year. The moment that Donald Trump put his hand on Dr. Seuss' book, whatever he put his hand on, to be inaugurated, he gave every single gosh darn woman in this room, a non-binary person in this room, permission to understand their value and to shed themselves of any remnants of imposter syndrome that you ever thought about having. And again, if that's your homeboy and you see some good things in him, think about somebody else in your life that you're like, well, how did they get there? How did they get what they got? I think I could do that kind of job too. I think I could do a good job, and I didn't get that. Just think about how many times you've been underestimated, and maybe you've kept quiet about it. This is your time now. My first book was called It's About Damn Time for a Reason. We are running out of it, to be frank. We have some really, really great years ahead of us, but we have to create that for ourselves. No one's going to create it for us. No one's going to come save us. No one's going to make everything all right. We have to do that, no matter who you are. And for the three guys in the room, I love y'all. Y'all my peoples. You have felt underestimated at some point, haven't you? At some point, right? You know how that feels. So not only can you be an ally to the people in this room, you can be an ally to yourself. And when you fill your cup, when guys like you like get yourself right, oh, you pour into the world in a very special way. You impact the world in a very special way. So I need you to do that because you have so much power that you probably don't know you have. So just for everyone, anyone who's thinking today, oh, I don't know if I should be in the room, I don't know if I'm qualified enough. Donald Trump had the nuclear frickin' codes. Next question.
Oh my gosh. I love it. Okay, let's talk about mindset. The whole concept of declaring your success as a fact, even before it has manifested in reality. When did you realize the power of a positive mindset, and at what point did you truly start employing it in your life?
I mean, I've had a lot of confidence since I was very little. Again, surprise. But I think in relationships, like personal relationships, I was pretty terrible. You know, like I let a lot of people walk on me, and so when I think about like just truly being confident, it came around the same time I started Backstage. Because that was around the same time I met my wife, Anna, who was my girlfriend at the time. And all of the things really sort of were elevated at the same time. The way I thought about myself, the way she thought about me, and vice versa. I started in probably 2016. Well, actually in 2014, I said I'm going to invest in 100 companies by 2020. And in 2015, a woman at a prestigious venture fund who, I don't think she works there anymore, but I have forgotten her name, she told me, she walked me out of the room and laughed at me and told me to come back when I was more realistic. I reached 100 companies in 2018, so she was a little right. But it was like in that moment of being in the parking lot of that hotel in Pearland, Texas in 2014, broke, hungry, you know, overwhelmed, stressed, but still trying to raise $1 million for some fund in this far-off land called Silicon Valley, and just waking up and thinking about it every single day, and having it be the thing that drove me and got me through the toughest times, because I said, what if this works? How many people could it affect positively? And how could it affect me? It could change things a lot for my world and the life that I'm living. And so when that started to manifest itself, and I started being in these rooms, and even obviously before then, but really when I started being in these rooms and saying, you know what, it was that fuel. I was driving myself and propelling myself in that direction. It was pulling me, and I was driving myself. That's when I understood the power of optimism. I talked about that in my newsletter a couple days ago, like optimism, like pure optimism, and also the belief in myself. Like I said before, no one's coming to save us, right? Do we all understand that? No one's coming to save us? It sounds dark and scary, but it's not. It's actually really cool because we can get together and work together and help ourselves. So I call it writing your own headlines. What do you want the world to read about you in 5 years? What do you want to be true about you in 1 year, in 10 years, in 20 years? You write your headline today. Write it as if it's a newspaper headline. Probably won't exist in 10 years, but write it as if it's a TikTok headline or an AI robot headline. What do you want to be able to say about yourself in 10 years? And then walk towards that.
That's amazing. Okay. And we're at time, but we have one last question for you. What is the #1 goal that you want every reader to walk away with after they finish the last page of your book?
I want you all to be planning and plotting and have actionable steps, because we go through that in the book, of how you'll make your first million if you haven't already. And if you've already made your first million, kudos, help somebody else do it. Help them do it and make your second, your third, and your 10th, and your 20th. Because even if you feel, like I do, that no one person should have too much money, you know what happens when you make money? You can do whatever the heck you want with it. So you can give it away, you can create an accelerator, you can create a nonprofit, you can do all kinds of things, but you have that power and influence, and especially the collective power, control, influence that I'm trying to help us make. I want us to have many, many empires. M-A-N-Y, M-I-N-I, many, many empires. And then I want us all to splash each other with our yacht water. Is anybody recording for this is being streamed. Is anybody recording for Instagram or anything like that? Can everybody put like their phone down just for a second, because I want to tell y'all a secret. I'm being serious. I want to tell y'all something. You cannot tell anybody. Is everybody promise? No, there's people back there like, nah, I'm going to tell everybody as soon as you say it. I'm going to tweet it right now. Okay, no, I'm serious. I have a new water brand coming out in April that I'm going to launch at my event called Yacht Water. Coming to a store near you.
I'm in on the yacht water. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time and your thoughts and your energy. Ladies and gentlemen, Arlan Hamilton.
Thanks.